Hey friend, welcome back to my channel all about design. Now in this video, I want to walk you through the behind the scenes of making an enamel pin. Now last year I went through this process myself when we made an enamel pin for our podcast. In case you didn't know, me alongside with my good friend Charlie Marie run a podcast called Design Life. Now this is a podcast all about design and side projects for motivated creators, and at this rate we've been running the show for almost 5 years. Occasionally we make cool and cute little products to sell on our online store. In the past we've done really cute sticker packs, but last year we wanted to try something new and different, so we decided to make an enamel pin. The show is all about documenting our journey as designers. We claim that we don't really have all the answers and we're still on our own journey and path through design, and so we really wanted a pin that kind of represented this philosophy of the show. We knew straight away that we wanted something hand lettered, some kind of cool statement that could look really cool on a backpack or on a denim jacket. So with this philosophy in mind, we started brainstorming a few ideas. Now with Charlie and I's busy schedules, we knew straight away that we wouldn't have time to design the pin ourselves. So this is when we got the help of our really good friend and freelance designer, Holly Arnett. Holly is an amazing freelancer. She does a lot of branding work and I love her hand lettering. So we knew straight away that this was going to be a great partnership. Together we started a Google Doc and we started jotting down some ideas of what this statement or phrase might say. And then in the meantime, Holly got back to us with a proposal of how she was going to undertake the design part of the project. So we got back together and decided to go forward with the phrase work in progress. We felt like this phrase really represented where we each were in our careers and was a really good philosophy for the show. So Holly came back to us with the first iteration of the design, which included 4 different concepts. In general, we really liked each of these 4 concepts, but we wanted to avoid any small lines or finer detail that might be really difficult to show up on an enamel pin. We also knew that the pricing of the design would be influenced by the level of detail and also the number of colors. So we decided straight away to keep it to 2 colors and to also try and simplify the design a little bit. So we went with the lettering approach. This was something that we kind of already knew from the beginning we wanted as this natural hand-lettered effect, but it was really cool to see the other explorations too and consider what the pin might look like. So then in iteration 2, Holly explored different colorways, and you can see here she explored some purple, some black. Really liked the purple because it was cute and on brand, but wasn't sure how the purple would actually show up in real life on a pin. We decided to go with the more neutral black and white for now and gave her some feedback to touch up a little bit of the lettering. You can see here she refined the loops on the W and P to make the letters just a little bit more clear. Now that we had the pin design, it was time to start thinking about how we were actually going to package up this pin. Packaging is something that's often overlooked when it comes to physical products, and we really wanted to make sure that we took care of every single detail in the product. So we decided to mount the pin onto a backing card. We decided to go with the standard business card size, which is 85 by 55 millimeters. And Holly mocked up this design, which I approved instantly because I loved it. I love the little patterns in the background. She has the logo, and we also added a little out of 100 mark in the bottom. And I would then in person go and write which number edition this pin was so that it kept it a little bit special and a little bit limited edition. Now, so far the designs I've been showing you have been in Figma, but for the final print and manufacturing, we needed a vector file. So Holly provided us with a AI Adobe Illustrator vector file of the final pin, and then she also provided us with a PDF of the backing card. Pro tip here, if you're doing print stuff, make sure you have bleed in the background, and you might also want to consider adding the printer crop marks as well. This is really easy to do in InDesign when you go and export your file. There's some nice handy settings there. Okay, now let's go and talk about manufacturing, because this is the tricky part when it comes to making a pin. It's super easy to kind of come up with a design, but actually getting this made in real life is not as easy as just going to a printer and getting it done. It was really important to me to find a manufacturer that would produce a high quality pin, but was also affordable. I went and asked around some of my friends who have experience producing their own pins to see what manufacturer they worked with, but I also did some of my own online research as well. While I was doing this research, I created a spreadsheet where I would keep track of who the manufacturer was, what the cost would be, any additional benefits that they might include or throw in, shipping, etc., to kind of do a cost breakdown analysis and see which would be the best option. I looked into 4 different pin manufacturers, which were Made by Cooper, Pincats, The Studio, and All About Pins. Ideally, I wanted to find a manufacturer that would not only produce the pins, but also print out the backing cards for us. Another thing I was thinking about was a plastic sleeve to kind of protect the enamel pin. And I did find some of these that I could buy individually on Amazon, but then I would have to go and put each pin inside the bag itself. And if a manufacturer can do that for me on their end, that saves me a lot of hassle. So I decided to go with Made by Cooper. They came out on top by far for not only their quality, but also all the extra things that they included. Not only would they print out the pin, but they would also print out the backing card, and they would mount the pin onto the card and put each of them individually in a plastic sleeve, which would save me so much hassle. So they would take care of all the assembly by pre-assembling all the pins for me, and they were also very customizable. I could customize my size, I could customize also my backing plate, and my clip on the back of the pin, so that was also a nice added bonus. Now when it comes to enamel pins, you can choose between a hard enamel or a soft enamel. A hard enamel means that everything is flat and smooth on top of the pin. A soft enamel means you might have some raised edges on the top of the pin. Soft enamel allows for you to have a border, and it also allows for more colors. It's durable, and in general, the quality of soft enamel is just a little bit higher than hard enamel. So we decided to go with soft. Now back to colors. Holly had done a few different colorways and we kind of settled on a black and white, but once I was in Made by Cooper, I had to choose the color of a backing plate. And I have to admit, I had to research what this was, but essentially the backing plate is the background of your pin. So in our case, we wanted the backing plate to be black. So to get that effect, we had to choose the color of the enamel to be black, and then the metal or the lettering to be silver, which in this case was actually technically called nickel. We could also choose what the clutch at the back of the pin would be. You can typically choose between a rubber clutch or a metal clutch. We decided to go with metal because it felt a little bit more durable. I've had some pins with rubber clutches before in the past and they tend to just fall off or I would lose them. So the metal has a bit more graspiness and it actually kind of almost clicks into the back of the pin. The next thing to think about with your pin is what size do you want it to be? We explored a few different sizes, 1 inch, 1.25 inches, and then 1.5 inches. Now it's really hard to get a sense digitally what these sizes are. So I actually printed out the pin on paper, just the design, to true size for each of these different sizes. And then I laid them on top of my denim jacket alongside my other pins, took a few photos and shared them with Holly and Charlie to kind of decide what size would work best. We decided to go in the middle. I don't know if that means we're indecisive or what, but the 1.25 inch felt like the best size. It wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. Then I submitted the files and waited for a proof. Now, if you're lucky, you might get a real life proof, but often this is really expensive for the manufacturer to produce the molds if they're only printing one pin. So in this case, I just got a digital proof, a little print mock-up of what the pin would look like in real life. And this was enough for me to accept the proof and submit it for printing officially. It took a couple of weeks, but the pins arrived and they are so nice. I am so happy with them. Here's what they look like. So now that we had all of the pins, we had to figure out how to market them. So we decided to do a photo shoot because people love seeing the real thing. My friend Zach agreed to be our trusty model and he did a great job. We did a very low budget, low-key photo shoot just on the canals in Amsterdam, and we took a lot of different shots, some close up, some far away. Then we added it to our online store, which we use Big Cartel for our online store, and here I could just add it as a new product and set in the shipping and the different details and upload some photos and put it up for sale. But before I hit the publish button, we had to figure out at what price we were going to sell our pins for. We did a cost breakdown where we looked at all the costs that went into producing our pin to figure out what the true cost of each pin was. So this included the design by Holly, the actual manufacturing price by Made by Cooper, the shipping costs, the envelopes that we were going to send them in, and then we broke down how much each one individual pin costed. So through this, we found that it costed about $3 for each pin. So that's the made by Cooper price. And then in total, with all the other additional costs, it was about $10 a pin. So with this in mind, we decided to sell it for $20, meaning we have a 50% margin and would make $10 in profit per pin. Now, whenever somebody buys a pin, I handwrite the number on each card, pop it in an envelope, and head down to the post store to send it. So that's pretty much how we made our pins. It was actually very, very easy in the end and very straightforward. You don't need to know much about making physical products. As long as you have a vector file of the design that you want to turn into a pin and a good manufacturer who values design and quality, you should be good. If you've made your own pin and have it up for sale on an online store, please pop a link to your store in the comments below. I would love to check it out. Thanks for watching another video. See you next time.